Beneath the scorching sands of Sakara, archaeologists uncovered an astonishing treasure trove. 52 burial shafts holding over 3,000-year-old mummies, colorful coffins, and sacred artifacts from ancient Egypt. One coffin revealed a perfectly preserved mummy wrapped in blackened linen, untouched for more than 2 millennia. Another coffin contained 2 intertwined skeletons, a mother and son, buried together in an act of love. Nearby, fragments of papyrus from the Book of the Dead revealed spells to guide souls to paradise. Each discovery sheds light on how Egyptians prepared for the afterlife with rituals, texts, and treasures. What secrets did these burial shafts hold, and how do they reveal the lives and beliefs of those long gone? Stay with us to uncover the astonishing stories hidden within the largest Egyptian necropolis. In 2021, the world marveled as renowned Egyptologist Dr. Zahi Hawass and his team announced a groundbreaking discovery at Sakara, the largest necropolis in Egypt. Over the course of 6 months, their mission revealed over 50 burial shafts, countless coffins, mummies, and intricate artifacts dating back more than 3,000 years. These findings offered a window into the lives, beliefs, and burial practices of an ancient civilization that still captivates the world. Nestled just 15 kilometers south of the famous pyramids of Giza, Sakara is no ordinary burial ground. It is the final resting place for generations of ancient Egyptians, from the Old Kingdom to the Roman era. This vast necropolis holds thousands of tombs, each one a glimpse into the past. The area is dominated by the iconic step pyramid of Pharaoh Djoser, the oldest pyramid in history, built nearly 5,000 years ago. Nearby lies the Pyramid of Teti, a 4,300-year-old structure that once belonged to the founder of the 6th dynasty. For centuries, Sakara remained a sacred site, drawing the wealthy and elite who wanted to be buried near these monumental landmarks. Dr. Hawass and his team began their excavation in October of 2020, determined to uncover the secrets hidden beneath the sand. They had only 6 months to complete their work before the start of Ramadan in April of 2021, but the site quickly began to reveal its treasures. Within weeks, the team uncovered a vertical burial shaft 11 meters deep. Inside, they discovered 3 coffins, one of which belonged to a child. The child's coffin, carved from a single piece of wood, was a remarkable find. Its surface was painted with intricate designs, and its well-preserved condition suggested it belonged to a family of wealth. The team used advanced X-ray technology to examine the coffin without opening it, uncovering the heartbreaking story of a baby girl who had died within days of birth. Despite her short life, her parents spared no expense in ensuring she received a burial fit for a wealthy family. Her coffin, placed in the antiquity storehouse for further study, became a testament to the ancient Egyptians' deep respect for life and death, even for their youngest members. But this was just the beginning. Sakara's sands concealed a treasure trove of artifacts. The burial shafts, which were cleared of sand and rubble over the course of 2 months, revealed coffins stacked on top of one another, each one telling its own story. These coffins, some intricately painted and others carved with hieroglyphs, were the resting places of middle and upper class individuals. For the ancient Egyptians, space was a luxury, and being buried near the Pyramid of Teti was a privilege reserved for the elite. One of the most striking discoveries was a statuette of the god Nefertum, found next to a coffin. Nefertum, the god of the lotus flower and renewal, was part of the triad of Memphis and Sakara, alongside Ptah and Sekhmet. The presence of this statuette indicated the importance of protection and guidance in the afterlife. For the ancient Egyptians, the journey to the afterlife was fraught with challenges, and amulets, statues, and inscriptions were meant to provide the deceased with the tools they needed to succeed. The coffins themselves were works of art, adorned with scenes and texts from the Book of the Dead. This ancient collection of spells and prayers guided the deceased through the afterlife, helping them overcome obstacles and ultimately become one with Osiris, the god of rebirth. The craftsmanship of these coffins reflected the importance of the afterlife in Egyptian culture. For them, life on Earth was only a brief chapter and eternity lay beyond the grave. As the excavation continued, the team made an unexpected discovery. Inside one of the coffins, they found not one, but 2 sets of skeletal remains. The bones belonged to a young man of about 18 and a woman in her 40s. Analysis revealed that they were likely mother and son, and both had suffered from a hereditary disease known as familial Mediterranean fever. This discovery shed light on the medical history of ancient Egyptians and their burial practices. It also highlighted the emotional connection between family members, even in death. The excavation process was painstaking. Every artifact, coffin, and bone fragment had to be carefully documented, stabilized, and analyzed. The team used modern technology, such as portable X-ray machines, to gain insights without causing damage. Conservation was a top priority, as the delicate wood and paint of the coffins had to be preserved for further study. Among the many discoveries, one coffin stood out. It was covered in intricate designs and inscriptions, suggesting it belonged to someone of great importance. The team worked tirelessly to hoist the coffin to the surface without causing any damage. The operation took hours, as the coffin had to remain perfectly horizontal to avoid cracks or splits. When it finally emerged into the daylight for the first time in 3,000 years, it was a breathtaking sight. A reminder of the artistry and devotion of ancient Egyptian craftsmen. This particular coffin, like many others at the site, contained texts from the Book of the Dead. These texts were not just decorative, they were functional, serving as a roadmap for the deceased's journey through the afterlife. The ultimate goal was to reach the field of reeds, a paradise where the soul could live in peace and happiness for eternity. The presence of texts from the Book of the Dead was not limited to the coffins of kings or queens. By the Middle Kingdom, a significant shift had occurred in Egyptian society. The privilege of having these protective texts extended beyond royalty to lay people and nobles. This democratization of the afterlife meant that even the middle and upper classes could prepare for their journey to eternity. Some had these spells inscribed on their coffins, while others commissioned their own papyri, a portable and sacred document that would carry them into the afterlife. Among the remarkable discoveries at Sakara was a fragmented papyrus found early in the excavation. Though torn and scattered, the team painstakingly pieced it together like a massive jigsaw puzzle. The papyrus, nearly 3,500 years old, contained exquisite hieroglyphic text written in red and black ink. The red ink marked the beginnings of each chapter, a feature unique to Egyptian scribes. The text belonged to a man named Buehoff, who was wealthy enough to afford not only a papyrus, but also a coffin and a Ushabti figurine, a servant meant to aid him in the afterlife. These three items together demonstrated Buehoff's devotion to ensuring his journey to paradise was complete. The time and effort required to create such a papyrus were immense. A priest or scribe would spend months carefully writing the spells in hieroglyphs, charging a fortune for the work. This papyrus was a symbol of status, wealth, and faith in the promises of eternal life. For Buehoff, it was one of the many elements he believed would protect him in the afterlife. As the team continued their work, they turned their attention to one of the most exciting moments in any excavation: opening a coffin. One particular white coffin, dated to the late period around 600 BCE, was brought to the surface after weeks of preparation. The coffin's stunning decoration, depicting Anubis, the god of cemeteries, and other deities, suggested that it belonged to someone of great importance. The suspense was high as Dr. Howes and his team carefully unsealed it. When the lid was lifted, the sight was breathtaking. Inside lay a perfectly preserved mummy wrapped in blackened linen, her form intact despite over 2,600 years in the ground. The care and skill of the ancient embalmers were evident in every detail. The mummy's bindings were layered with precision, ensuring her body would be preserved for eternity. Even the linen itself, though darkened with age, told a story of wealth and careful preparation. This was a woman of status, someone whose family spared no expense in her burial. Mummification, as practiced by the ancient Egyptians, was an elaborate process that reflected their profound respect for the body and its role in the afterlife. Reserved initially for kings, it gradually became available to nobles and eventually to the middle classes during the New Kingdom. The process took 70 days, beginning with the removal of the brain and internal organs. The body was then cleansed, dried with natron salt, and treated with oils and resins. Each stage of the process was performed with ritualistic precision, ensuring that the body would be ready for eternity. Once dried, the body was wrapped in layers of linen, with amulets placed between the folds for protection. Every mummy was unique, and the details of its preparation reflected the social standing of the deceased. Wealthier individuals were adorned with fine linens, intricate amulets, and even painted bandages. In contrast, poorer individuals received simpler treatments, but the goal was the same: to preserve the body and prepare it for rebirth as an immortal being. The ancient Egyptians' fascination with death extended to their funerary texts, which evolved over time. The Old Kingdom saw the creation of the pyramid texts inscribed on the walls of royal tombs. By the Middle Kingdom, these evolved into the coffin texts, which included spells for nobles and others who could afford them. Finally, during the New Kingdom, these texts were collected into the Book of the Dead, a comprehensive guide to navigating the afterlife. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Sakara excavation was the discovery of a mummy whose coffin contained 2 bodies. Analysis revealed that they were a mother and her teenage son, buried together in an act of familial love. Further study showed that they had suffered from the same hereditary disease, offering a glimpse into the medical history of ancient Egyptians. In another stunning find, the X-ray analysis of a coffin revealed that it contained not the man it was made for, but a woman, likely his wife. This led to the touching conclusion that the man had given his own coffin to his wife when she died unexpectedly. Acts like this remind us of the humanity and love that transcended even death in ancient Egyptian culture. The discoveries at Sakara are far from over. Dr. Hawass believes that only 10% of the site has been excavated, leaving countless treasures still buried beneath the sand. Each new find not only deepens our understanding of ancient Egypt, but also connects us to the people who lived, loved, and prepared for eternity thousands of years ago. Thank you for watching this journey into the largest Egyptian necropolis and the mysteries it holds. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on notifications to stay updated on more incredible discoveries. Your support helps bring the wonders of history to life. We hope you've enjoyed our story today, and we'll see you in the next one.